Story till now. Duncan works to rig Derek's motorcycle to blow up as a warning for Diego. Emma is asked by Haruto, Primogen of the Toreador, to join him for the play. Henry finds Amber at the play and is greeted with warmth in front of Victor. Jeff has unknown IP address access his budding network. Henry is compelled to rush to Victor and is shot in the back just before reaching him. Sir and Duncan lose sight of the suspect and return to origins of the shot to find a gun case and rosary. Emma helps remove the bullet from Henry's shoulder. Elizabeth, after the play is over, requests the players to help look into the attempt on Victor. And so, the story continues.
You guys are just now kind of waking up as the sun's finally set. So the group that stayed at the Coteries Haven is Sir, Jeff, Duncan, and Henry. What do you guys do?
When I wake up, I am going to see if the explosives arrived.
You approach the guards, and it's still the human guards. What do you say to one of them?
Just ask them if my package has arrived yet, or if the night shift will be bringing it.
Hello, sir. Night guard should have already been here, and your package was supposed to be delivered with them, along with the information for Sir. They have not arrived.
They're running late.
As far as we know. Give me just a moment. I will radio the headquarters and see if they have any information. He steps off to the side and grabs the walkie off of his shoulder and does a call using it, and you hear him go, call sign. I believe Alistair said it was like Fox something or another. What was the call sign for your people?
Yeah, that was it. It was Fox Team Alpha and Bravo.
And Bravo's your night people?
Yes.
Okay. Fox Team Alpha to Fox Team Bravo. ETA, no response. And then he repeats himself, no response. At that point, he puts the walkie back onto his shoulder and approaches you, sir. Sir, we may have a problem. Bravo is not answering.
I'll look into it. And I immediately step away and pull my phone out. I'm going to call Zero.
Zero's phone goes straight to a voicemail.
We might have a problem.
It appears to be so.
Is there anyone I could contact back at my main facility?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people who man the phones and whatnot for jobs and processing paperwork and things like that.
Okay, I'm going to try and call in just some backup to basically man the fort for the night. Kindred, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of stand in for Bravo team.
Okay. When you place the call, the same young lady that had talked to you before you went to sleep that last night, she answers. And she's like, hello, sir. How can I help you?
First, I have a question. Do we know the whereabouts of Bravo team?
They should have already arrived at your location, sir.
They have not, and I have no contact with them. Zero is also out of contact with me.
He was traveling with them. He was bringing you the information. We had a hiccup.
A hiccup?
While we were apparently searching the database to compare those fingerprints for you, there was someone who was coming in the other direction. And files started getting deleted. And information was being uploaded somewhere else.
Uploaded to our database?
From our database to somewhere else.
Ah.
We shut it down as fast as we could as soon as that information for the fingerprints came back. So we've been able to salvage some of it, but there's a lot of information that got damaged or otherwise partially damaged.
Do we have a copy of the information that came through?
Absolutely, we keep paper copies, but what was lost, we have paper copies of. But the information that Zero has, that's the only version of it. We made sure not to keep it into our database just in case it came with some not so great things.
Understood. I'll be by at some point tonight to get that information. Otherwise, I need you to send another unit to replace Fox Bravo.
I don't think I made myself clear, sir. I apologize. The information that was destroyed, we have paper copies. The information that Zero was carrying, that was the only copy we had of it.
Ah, understood. All right, anything else of note?
No, sir, other than the fact that now apparently some of our personnel is missing. Which team do you want me to grab to send up there to you?
I give her just a random name. I don't have a name for him.
Okay, that's fine. She said, yes, sir. I will have them up there in approximately 25 to 30 minutes, pending on traffic.
Thank you. Call me if anything else happens.
Yes, sir. She hangs up.
I'd imagine I'd kind of had that conversation in front of everybody so everyone's aware.
Okay.
Sir, do you have GPS on your vehicles, or is that a moot point?
That would be a storyteller question.
I don't know. Is that something that you typically keep track of?
I would, yes.
Okay. So then, yes, there is GPS on them. Depends on how paranoid of a PMC you are.
I'm not
Paranoid
imagining
enough
that
to know.
Jack.
Yeah, paranoid enough to know where my assets are.
Is there at all a way that you can get a hold of that and we can trace their tracks to see where they may have disappeared to?
I believe so. Let me get on the horn about that. And I start rummaging through some of the computers.
Okay.
Trying to get some kind of GPS location up.
Okay. You get logged into your own network for your PMCs and you find the information for which vehicle the Kindred were using to go back and forth, like swapping out personnel. And you find its GPS information. But, of course, it's latitude, longitude type of thing. So you're going to have to pinpoint it on the map yourself.
Okay. What is the latitude and longitude?
It is about, I'd say about 15 miles away from where you're at. On one of the back roads that your team uses in order to stay kind of not as visual by taking interstates and such. It's a highly armored vehicle, is not something you want to see traveling back and forth on a regular basis in the same route.
Right. Is it closer to my current location or is it closer to home base?
It's closer to you.
I think I found it. It's not far. Backup should be arriving in about 25 minutes. When they get here, we should go.
Do we want to contact Emma and see if she would like to join in this venture, or are we just going to try and scout it out?
We should contact her, yes.
We should probably let her know, but at this point,
I feel like time is of the essence, and waiting for her to show up or going to get her is probably going to make things take longer than it needs to.
I don't think we should split up either. Maybe we should send a vehicle for her.
Well, if we're gonna wait for night crew to show up, we could send Alpha Team to bring her here, possibly.
If we're comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think with all of us awake, we don't necessarily need the guard stationed while we're here. So we can look after this place while Alpha Team goes and picks up Emma.
I'll give the order.
Okay.
So I give them the order. I give them the address and her phone number.
Okay.
And I'll send her a text as well, stating that somebody is on the way to pick her up and to keep a very careful eye out on the way here.
Okay. And they salute you and load into their respective vehicle and leave. About 15-20 minutes pass, and you hear the gravel outside as a vehicle is pulling into the parking lot. They get out and come in the doors, and it's the night crew. Of course, different officers than what you're used to dealing with. And they get the rundown from you, sir, on what they need to be doing and how they need to go about it, since they are not the normal team that functions. All right, who called Emma?
I sent her a text.
Okay. What does the text say?
It says that there is a vehicle coming to pick her up, and that it's two people. It's the crew that she would be familiar with for the day crew.
Okay.
And that they're going to bring her here, and that something bad has happened. She needs to be careful on her way.
Okay. So just so you know, originally agreed for 4 humans, 4 vampires, by the way.
Yes.
So it'll be
this
4
is the human ones.
Yeah. All right. So you get a text message from Sir on your phone as you kind of are leaving the security room of your haven, Emma.
Okay.
And you know what it says, so.
I'm gonna respond with okie dokie, and then I'm gonna kind of walk around my place and gather my sketchbook, some pencils, and because I was told there might be danger, a knife, as well as the things that I normally carry on me, and just kind of wait for the team to arrive to take me there.
Okay. After about 20 minutes, you hear a vehicle pull up outside through one of your windows, and then your doorbell buzzer goes off.
All right, does it look like one of the vehicles that I'm expecting, or is it like a different vehicle?
It looks almost identical to the one that usually Alistair and Duncan are in.
All right, then I will go out
Okay.
and up to the car.
As you open the front door to the apartment building, there is someone dressed in full blacked out fatigues, standing there. You recognize them. There's somebody that is typically at the haven for the coterie. They nod and say, "Miss Emma, are we ready?"
Yes, I am. Lead the way.
They escort you over to the vehicle. They open the door to the back seat. There's somebody on the far seat. They situate you in between them. And
Okay.
they start heading towards the haven location.
While we're going that way, I am going to kind of keep an eye out, see if there's anything that I can see. Like if there's anyone following us or anything suspicious, or if it's just the night.
What is your perception like? Okay. Roll me an intelligence and an awareness check.
All right, give me just a second here. You said intelligence and perception?
Mm-hmm. Intelligence and awareness, because that makes basically your perception.
All right. Well, I'm writing all of my zeros in here, and I almost wrote 54. But I kind of wish I did have 54.
Okay. You definitely don't notice anything, mostly because your ability to turn in the vehicle is limited by how bulky the equipment is on the people pretty much sandwiching you in between.
Yeah.
All right.
So when I ask, I'll be like, I saw leather.
you you saw shoulders, leather, and mics, and
Exactly.
in the back of some people's heads. All right. So you arrive at the Haven a little while after the other group did. Those that are at the Coterie Haven, you hear another vehicle pulling in along the gravel. The vehicle stops, and you hear doors slamming. This time it was only 2 doors that slam. The person that was sitting next to you that fetched you from inside of your apartment building gets out with you and escorts you to the door. Steps in with you, addresses Sir, nods, and then leaves. And you guys hear the vehicle leave.
My brows are going to be slightly furrowed. I'm going to look at Sarah and go, tell me what's going on.
I explained to her that Zero and Fox Team Alpha are missing, as well as the data on who shot Henry.
That's not good.
No, it is not, but they're not far from here, so now that you're here, I'm going to leave the base and seek them out.
Sounds like a good plan.
Y'all pile into the overnight cruise SUV, and as y'all get closer to the GPS location, y'all notice flashing lights of emergency vehicles.
That's not good.
As y'all pull up to the actual location, you notice that it's not rescue vehicles, more like just police that are kind of blocking that lane as a tow truck is pulling a vehicle out of the ditch that has been rolled over onto its top. It is absolutely one of your vehicles.
Does it look like there are any body bags or anything?
No. It literally is just police and tow truck.
So they might have just found it.
I don't know. You can find out.
Do you want to actually stop, or do you want to just kind of creep on by?
I'm going to kind of creep on by. I have a feeling if we get out, we might need to pretend to be law enforcement. Maybe.
Your vehicles are registered under your PMC.
Okay. So that means the vehicle that they're pulling out would be also registered under their PMC.
Correct.
So I could have authority here to get information as it's one of my vehicles.
Correct.
I'm going to creep on by and then park afterwards, a little bit further down. And then I'm going to get out and walk through them.
Are you going alone? Are you taking anybody with you?
I'm not really thinking about taking anybody with me, but if anybody else would want to go, that's on them.
I'm going to step out and kind of post up at the back of the vehicle, and I'm going to text Mr. Silver.
Okay. Take this a little bit at a time. Your stroll up to the police officers will take a little bit longer than it takes for him to text. What are you texting Silver?
I'm just going to text him that we may have a breach and may need some keen noses in an area, and do the share my location on the phone.
He messages you back, get yourself a different dog. As you get to the police officer, they kind of hold up your hand. Sir, you need to stay back. We don't want you getting hurt as the vehicle is getting shifted around.
I pull out my wallet and hold up basically an informational badge that states that I'm with my PMC, and I say, I'm with this PMC. This vehicle is registered to me, as well as the one over there. If I may, I'd like to know what happened here.
Oh, we got a hold of, I believe, your secretary earlier. Not but maybe 10 minutes ago. Yeah, we found this. Someone reported a vehicle being in the ditch, but it's empty. Like, nobody's here. There's no blood. We don't know what happened. A wreck like this, there should have been blood.
You mind if I take a look around the scene?
I mean, it's yours. Let me let the tow truck driver know that you're coming up so he stops moving it. And he
Thank you.
walks away, starts hollering where you can't really hear him because there's a lot of metal screeching and crunching and stuff like that. And the vehicle stops getting shifted. He comes back up to you and goes, okay, be careful. Don't get too close in case it comes free from the ground.
Of course, thank you. I kind of look back to Duncan, and I kind of give him like a waving hand motion, like a time to look around kind of thing.
I will start heading towards Sir and try to assist.
Okay, as you guys walk closer to the vehicle, the passenger side is crumpled in like it was slammed into. There is a distinct lack of blood and a distinct lack of personnel. There should have been 5 people in that vehicle. 4 of them make sense that there's no blood because they're kindred, but 0's not kindred.
Does the passenger side look like it wouldn't be able to be opened anymore? Like it's all the glass shattered?
Glass is shattered. The pillars that make up the framework on that side of the vehicle is crumpled in. Doors are all bent in on themselves. Like, everything is broken and mangled on that side.
Okay, I'm going to go around to the other side, and I'm going to see if I can't open the vehicle.
With the angle that it's sitting in, it's kind of being just held up by the tow truck at the moment. So it's facing down towards the ground because it, like I said, it was rolled onto its roof. So they've got it kind of tilted up to where you can see the other side and see that it's just basic roll damage on that side, but there's no way you're getting that door open. It'll hit the ground before it opens up.
Okay. Is there any way I could like stick my head through a window kind of thing and just kind of peer in?
You could probably stick your head in through the front or the far back.
Okay, I'll stick my head in the front and just kind of pull a flashlight out and shine it around, see if I see anything, any kind of documents or flash drive or anything that could have been left over.
No, there's a walkie-talkie, obviously, because all of them are kept in the vehicle that are used on site. So the walkie-talkies are there, but nobody, no blood, no bodies, no personal effects.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the walkies.
All right.
And I'll hand one to Duncan, and I just want to look around and see if there's any kind of tracks or anything leading away from this scene.
I mean, there's lots of footprints and stuff like that in the grass, like just pressed down grass. But it could have been from the police officers trying to figure out what happened. It could have been the tow truck guy trying to figure out how to hook it up. You can't tell.
I'm looking for more further away from the accident itself, things like broken twigs, brush that's been bent aside, things like that.
It's in a creek, like one of those, more of a runoff water on the side of a road to make sure that it doesn't flood.
Yeah.
So there's not really a lot of underbrush. It's just grass and like weeds and shit.
Okay.
Nothing that would give you an indicator if it was like animals or anything like that. Or werewolves in y'all guys' case.
Right.
What about the intersection that the accident was started in?
There you go. There's glass all over that intersection. You're assuming from the impact. There is distinct short tire marks, tread, from what appears to be from the vehicle that slammed into them. And they are straight on. So they were definitely T-boned.
Are there any tire tracks that indicate which direction they fled in?
No.
because they would have left in a hurry, so I would assume that they would have left some tire marks from the warm rubber from the slam, and then also basically gunning it to get out of there.
From the looks of it, whatever did it took their time leaving. There's no tread marks showing a direction after that.
I'm gonna take a picture of the tread marks.
The cop kind of walks up to you as you're taking those pictures, and he's like, huh, okay, so there was an accident. He looks at you and goes, so are you done with the vehicle? Can we finish getting it out of the hole?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
He hands you a card and he's like, this is the precinct that the vehicle's going to be held at. Let us know when you want to come by and get it.
Thank you.
He walks away and the tow truck starts finishing its job.
Well, it looks like we got one lead. Let's try and get this tread mark into the database, see if we can't find out what kind of tire and vehicle it belongs to.
All right, let's start heading back to the SUV.
Oh yeah. At any point since last night when he fumbled through sending it, has Henry gotten a text back from Amber saying that she was home okay?
As a matter of fact, while you're waiting in the vehicle, you get a phone call.
Ooh. I'm gonna push buttons until it answers and hopefully not reject it.
When you pick up on the other end, it's Amber. Henry, is that you?
Yeah, it's Henry.
Ah, perfect. How would you feel about going to dinner with me?
When?
Like 30, 40 minutes?
I would love to, but I'm kind of in the middle of something at the moment.
Okay. Okay, well, I've got a seminar I gotta go to tomorrow. But that'll let out around 9-ish. So do you want to meet then?
Not 9-ish when?
PM?
Okay, maybe. I'll have to see how long this the thing that I'm doing takes.
Oh, okay. Well, just keep me informed. Let me know.
Yeah, be safe.
Yeah, no problem. I'm always safe. She scoffs.
Yeah.
Have a good night, Henry.
Yeah, you too.
And she hangs up.
Henry's gonna let out a massive sigh of relief.
You all good there?
Yeah, I'm a little bit better now. Now what's going on with all this stuff now?
I think those two are done investigating the scene and we're about to head out.
Gotcha.
Jeff, your phone pings.
Take it out and have a look.
Your network is down.
Huh.
Emma, your phone dings.
Oh, take out my phone, look at it.
It is Vanderbilt's administration. Apparently, it was a reminder that an email had came in for you. And it is the times and which lecture hall that the crossbreeding and GMOs class is starting and where it'll be situated at.
Ooh, okay. Does it say a day?
Yeah, it gives you the days and everything. Your first class will be tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna squee in excitement.
All right. You guys get back to the vehicle and you hear Emma squeeing.
Get you found some good news.
We'll look up, blink a few times, go, plant seminar, and hold up my phone. Did you find out anything while you were out there looking around?
So it gives you kind of a stone cold, like, just blank expression for a second. Shakes his head and goes, yeah, they were T-boned at the intersection. No blood. Whoever left took their time.
So, do you think they were kidnapped?
As much as I would think that would be implausible, I believe it to be true.
Speaking of implausible, the timing of such things makes me question. My network just went down. Now, normally I would assume it's a glitch or, a little bit of infrastructure needed. But this timing is too perfect.
Duncan, your phone dings.
I pull it out of my pocket and look at it.
It's Mr. Silver again. As much as I don't want to help you with your little problem, I have another problem that's yours that's landed in my lap. One of our glass walkers has shut down your Nosferatu's little server because it was getting hacked. I need you to have him reach out to me. We need to figure out a off-the-grid network for him if he's going to keep going forward with this.
I will pass my phone to Jeff.
Assuming that the message is still there to let me know what's going on, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I was leaving the message up to show you to pass along the information.
I kind of figured. Okay, that's appreciated. Now, I'll need to think.
Take down his contact information in case you need to get in touch.
Well, he's requesting him get in touch with him, so...
Yeah, I'm more of the... so they can communicate back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, he just handed me the phone. It could have been a case of, you talk to him.
True.
Yeah, I'll take down the contact info and just send him a message with just a brief explanation. Yeah, very brief explanation of who it is that is messaging him.
Okay.
Along with the line of I was told we need to speak.
Okay. You get a message back with just a simple latitude, longitude information. And that's all there is to it.
Okay. So in person. Gotcha. That's not me responding, that's just me thinking out loud.
Mm-hmm. You understand the reasoning for it. As a former spy network, you realize exchange of information done verbally is better than through messaging.
True.
In person is less likely to get intercepted.
It's debatable, but yeah. You gotta think about the time that I was a spy. In person was all there was.
In person is still the best option, considering your network just went down due to hacking.
True.
Quick question from Henry. What's a network?
Who gets to explain that to him?
You see, when a mommy computer and a daddy computer love each other very much.
It's not too dissimilar.
I know, right?
So, what is the group collectively doing at the moment?
Are you driving, sir, or am I driving back to the base at the moment?
At the moment, I am.
So the complete content of that vehicle, from what you can tell, was removed. So, Duncan, that is your explosives. Sir, that is your information and personnel.
There's not necessarily making a face. However, the grip on the steering wheel is a little bit more than what you're used to seeing for him.
Start hearing the metal and plastic crack.
So, what you were saying, if we were able to differentiate, you'd be white-knuckling it.
Yes. I cannot say white knuckling, for there is not a lot of blood in these hands.
Okay. Where are you heading to?
As of right now, just back to base.
Okay. Y'all pull in, and your kindred personnel that is guarding the Coteries Haven, one of them kind of pokes their head out, verify who's pulling in, and then goes back to normal position.
So I'm just going to put this out here. Given everything that has happened within the last hour, I think it's safe to assume that we are under attack of some kind.
Of some kind, yes. The thing I think that is most unnerving is that it happened during the day. This isn't the work of kindred. Somebody knows about us.
I agree, although I will also tentatively put out there that you have plenty of people that work for you during the day. I agree it does not feel like a kindred attack, but I still wouldn't rule it out just because these things happen during the day. Yeah, so whoever did this overpowered Fort Kindred.
And a 0.
And Zero's no slouch.
You got a rival PMC we don't know about?
There have been plenty from time to time, but none of which would go to great lengths like this. We typically squash whatever squanderies we have on the battlefield.
And a rival PMC of his would not explain why they're attacking my network as well.
Yeah, but those could be two separate events.
Happening at the same time within the same hour?
You never know.
I agree that it could be coincidence, but I also understand that it is very unlikely.
Yeah.
I hate to cast any doubt upon your employees, but are you sure it's not anyone inside your organization?
I cannot rule that out for certain, but it's more unlikely in the fact that the team that's missing is kindred. They have stronger ties to me and my PMC than the human ones do. Zero most of all.
I guess it just seems a little odd that the police are there, but yet you haven't heard from anyone within that this happened. Or like saying that it was called in. I don't know.
Well, the police officer didn't seem to care too much either.
Does the card he gave me have a number on it?
Absolutely.
Would I have gleaned by this time there's probably a report?
Yeah.
I'm going to call the number.
Okay. Officer at the desk answers the phone. Davidson County Police Department, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling regarding an accident that happened earlier tonight regarding a vehicle with a license plate. And I give him the license plate number.
Oh, yeah, the abandoned vehicle we found.
Correct. I was told that somebody called it in. I was wondering if there was any information on who that might have been.
Yeah, it was, and they just share a generic name. They were driving home from work and they saw it abandoned but rolled over in an embankment. They didn't know what was going on and they didn't want to stop in case it was dangerous, so they called it in.
Could you tell me approximately what time the call came through?
A little after the sun went down, I'd say 30, 40 minutes. So about, let me grab the report. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. And you hear them get up from the desk, and about a minute later they come back and you hear the papers rustling. Yeah. So it was about 9:35 when we got the call.
All right. Any new information?
One of the officers that was on the scene with the tow truck said that there were some tire marks found nearby that were pretty fresh. So we're going to add that to the report.
All right. Yes, I noticed them as well. Yes, if there's anything else that you find out, please give me a call.
I take it that you are the owner of the PMC that the vehicle belongs to?
Yes.
Okay.
You can reach me at, and I give him my number.
Yeah, we already have that number on file.
Understood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And they hang up.
What time did we wake up?
Y'all woke up about 7:30, 8 o'clock, thereabouts. It was literally right as the sun was going down. It is fall time, so it's a little later, but not like super late.
Okay. So we were
I realize
up
there's
while this happened.
I realize there's some continuity issues there. I apologize. So if you guys woke up at about sorry. So if you guys woke up at about 7:30 because that's fall time, they received the call at 7:45. And with you guys waiting and everything like that for about an hour for everything to get back and forth is why there was a tow truck already there.
So it happened about the time that we woke up.
Mm-hmm. You know that your kindred PMCs, the moment they wake up, they're in the middle of getting dressed and out the door in order to get switched out. And they were en route to you when it happened.
Right. So if they were able to get up and be on the way, then so could other kindred, which kind of widens our search a bit.
Sorry, viewers, for that little continuity issue.
We discussed that the trio would be unreachable for the next few days, correct?
Correct.
Anybody got any plans?
I need to swing by my pawn shop and see if everything's on the up and up over there.
I'd suggest if anybody is going anywhere, we stick to groups. Nobody goes alone right now.
Buddy system?
If need be.
I agree.
Well, whoever wants to take Henry can take Henry. I like riding in the comfy mobiles.
Don't worry, Henry. One day we'll get a car big enough for you to drive.
That is a terrifying and exciting thought.
I know your PMC has money, but I don't think Humvees are really an option.
You'd be surprised.
It's more about the streets around here than the vehicle.
Fair.
Side note. Dark, I love you.
Mm.
But we're in the US.
Yeah.
Humvees are absolutely daily drivers for so many people here.
I wouldn't say so many, but I have seen it happen.
Or you can also buy demilitarized Humvees on the cheap from military auctions.
Mm-hmm. And they regularly do convoys of equipment shipments, like full-on deuces and a halves and cargo vehicles on the streets.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be main roads, but when you're trying to keep a low profile, taking a Humvee down a back street kind of raises attention.
I
Hence the
mean,
back street.
When you're trying to keep a low profile, you don't be a brick shithouse, first off.
We're in the South too, so it's 100% reasonable.
absolutely. I mean, they drive tractors down the road, for Christ's sakes, and like Columbines and stuff. You're fine. Now that we are done cutting the tension and back, let's focus back.
So, do we think this has anything to do with the shooting?
It's a high probability. I mean, it definitely shouldn't be ruled out.
Considering the information was about the shooter, I would place this at way more highly valued of an idea.
So who's riding with to the pawn shop?
I said I'm perfectly fine with riding with you.
I throw Duncan the keys.
Alright. So I'm gonna take Henry and we're gonna go swing by the pawn shop.
It's about a 45 minute drive. Do y'all conversate on the way, or is it an awkward silence?
I'd imagine it's probably awkward silence.
Yeah, Duncan's not all that sociable, so
Okay. You get to the back parking lot where your attendant usually parks. His vehicle's gone already. Are you going through the back?
yeah. I mean, that's my usual entry point.
You get the door unlocked, you go in, and everything is as you left it. A couple of merchandise moved here and there. New merchandise appeared on the shelves. Your ledger that he keeps at his counter denotes all of it. How much he paid, how much was paid for it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm just basically double checking inventory, making sure my delivery went out, because he was supposed to message me but never messaged me.
It is gone with a note and a receipt of, it being picked up and who picked it up, and code worded, obviously, so you know that it was one of your more reliable pickup people, with a little PS, sorry I didn't message you, I dropped my phone in the toilet.
Alright, I will take that paper and it'll get burnt and dropped in a toilet and then head out.
Okay, you lock it up and head back to the vehicle.
Yeah, gonna head back to the Haven unless Henry wants to go somewhere.
No, but while we were in there, Henry definitely wants to ask you if you got any like 20-pound sledges or anything hanging around, because he's gonna need something to help get revenge on the person who fucking shot him.
I mean, if there's gonna be like tools that people have pawned off for quick fix and stuff, just grab something off the wall.
Well, if there is a 20-pound sledge, I am grabbing that fucker.
Mm-hmm. There absolutely is, along with like hand saws, drills, some antique looking ones, along with some very modern ones.
Nah, the fucker shot me and ran away. They don't get clean, they get messy.
Basically, I'll walk Henry over to where that's all at and be all like, pick the one that suits you best.
Well, I'm grabbing just a nice sledge and I'm taking it. I'm not inspecting it too much because I don't think it's going to be in great shape after it's used.
Make sure you add that to your character sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, satisfied, I'm assuming you guys make your way back to the Haven.
Yeah.
Another 40 minutes pass. Do you guys at the Haven discuss anything, look into anything? Because they're gone for about an hour and a half. So.
Emma's gonna have a snack break of, I'm assuming there's stocked juice boxes, and just kind of chills.
Okay.
I'm going to contact main head HQ and see if they've got any other information on the hacking, as well as I believe the officer said that they should have been called about the vehicle.
Yes. When you call, the lady that you spoke to before answers the phone and her voice seems very frazzled. Yes, sir. But how can I help you?
Is everything okay?
So our attempts to stop the hacking didn't work. So we're kind of hustling at the moment, trying to get everything sorted. The phone rang earlier. I'm sorry I didn't get to you because we're still trying to head it off. But yeah, the police called and said they found one of our vehicles. Nobody was found inside though, and that you had shown up at the site. So I figured you had it taken care of. So I'm trying to get this deleting of our files to stop. And you hear a bunch of people hollering back and forth and different like tech verbiage being thrown around behind her.
Jeff's still here, right?
Yeah. You wanting me to?
I was gonna
Join in?
ask. Yeah, I was gonna. Sir is gonna ask. He says, Jeff, is there anything you could do to kind of help out? Maybe even get some kind of a reverse connection. Figure out who's doing this.
I can certainly take a look. And if nothing else, more eyes and more brains on the problem may help. So, yeah.
Agreed. And I talk back to the secretary. I say, put me in contact with whoever's in charge of the network there.
You hear her call out a name. The individual comes to the phone. Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
I've got a gentleman here by the name of Jeff, who's kind of a tech wizard himself. I want you two to work together and see what you can do to get information from this hacking and also stop it.
Okay. Let me transfer to my desk because it goes mute for a second and he re-picks up and you hear him typing. Okay, who am I talking to?
And I just hand the phone off to Jeff.
Yep. Okay. What are we looking at?
So when we were using the FBI database to process the fingerprints that we pulled from the rifle that was discarded at the restaurant yesterday, or yesterday night, at some point something happened to where our files started getting deleted and we didn't notice it until it was already going pretty fast. We got the information that we needed, printed it out as quick as we could, and it got immediately deleted from our system because it's going in reverse, newest to oldest.
Okay, I'm going to assume you've tried just unplugging.
Well,
already.
Yes.
You never know. Sometimes people like to try the more complicated solutions first.
Yeah, we unplugged the servers and isolated the servers, but they're still deleting at an exponential rate.
Okay, so it's a virus of some kind because it means it's already on your system.
Correct. We've got some of the team is transferring data to a different server that is internal away from this one to try to salvage what we can before it gets to that section. So
that's not necessarily a good idea right now. You could be transferring the virus with anything. It could be implanted in any of the data.
Totally understand that. We do have paper copies of everything, but we're just trying to salvage the data form of it. If it goes, it goes, but we're just trying to head it off as fast as we can.
Understood.
I don't even know where, like, I looked for all of the standard viruses that would do this that are known to the public and some of the private sector ones, but I'm not being able to isolate the files where this might be coming from.
It's probably custom made.
And you hear him murmur shit under his breath.
Yep.
Nope, it's done. And he sounds so dejected. I'll take a screenshot of this and send it to Sir. It just bricked everything. Thank you for your help. And he hangs up the phone. Sir, you get a text message. It is an image of a computer screen with an emblem on it.
What is the emblem?
Going to put this emblem in the Discord in the vampire discussion so everybody can see it.
What stats do you think would be necessary to recognize something like that.
I would do academics and investigation, or actually intelligence and academics.
Oof.
You don't recognize it.
Yep.
So I give it a shot.
What was the roll?
Academics and intelligence. Okay. You can't.
Might as well roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say everybody do a roll, and please try to use the dice one, not the congested one. That way, I can see the individual dice. There we go. Oh. God damn it, face.
We're not even their face.
Nope, Alistair, you don't recognize it either. Or, sir, you don't recognize it either.
I just really wanted to see if Henry could be the one to do it.
Emma recognizes it. You've seen this symbol before.
I have seen it.
This is the mark of the Second Inquisition.
What she said. This is the mark of the Second Inquisition.
I hear no one expects it.
I knew that joke was going to happen at some point.
We sure didn't expect it.
Best part is I did. Out of character, at least. So, now hearing that name, being able to put things together, what I actually know about the Inquisition, even though I didn't immediately recognize the symbol.
The symbol doesn't come up very often from what you've known about them. But what you do know is the Second Inquisition is a umbrella term for factions and groups of humans that hunt and destroy any supernatural, not just vampires, but werewolves, magi, changelings, and sometimes even ghosts.
Yep. If it isn't human, they kill it.
Yes.
Would I know any of that just from kind of the info gathering of my PMC?
Oh, you would fucking know so much about it, because technically you were part of the first. So you know that the Vatican has not let go of that. And the fact that they are outwardly showing you specifically that symbol lets you kind of know they're throwing the gauntlet down, because they know who you are.
The first time Alistair is showing, Sir is showing emotion. And it is anger. He looks livid.
Are you going to share with the class why Sir is suddenly very angry?
He's a little too angry to explain right now.
Seems fair.
Sir looks mad. Did he stub his toe?
How do you know?
Are we back yet?
We're not back yet.
Henry is just that good.
I feel a little disturbance in the force. Sir is pissed.
Okay, so we're gonna circle the block a couple times.
All right. About the time that all of this is wrapping up and Sir is now officially really irritated, you guys are pulling into the drive.
None the wiser. Get out and start heading into the Haven.
I'm probably pacing when you walk in at this point.
Well, we know who it is, or at least to temper my expectations, we know who they want us to think it is.
Pipe up through my pacing, and I say, "There's no doubt in my mind. That's who it is."
Context?
The Hakon says Fervers has finished successfully on their part, and they left us a calling card. We are seemingly dealing with the Second Inquisition.
Do you need to check your network?
If they've done this thorough a job with his, mine is almost certainly gone.
Better safe to check than realize that they missed something.
True. I know my network is down right now anyway. For good reason, apparently.
Yeah, the glass walk. Sir Silver did say the glass walkers took your network down because it got hacked.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I'm not going to be able to access it from here.
Not safely. Like, probably
Yeah.
have to go to the hub and boot it there and run safety protocols and whatnot.
Yeah. So it's one of those. It's down. It's either all been deleted again, or it hasn't. But right now they can't access it.
You do have a latitude, longitude for meeting with Silver.
Yeah.
Do you need an buddy system?
Yeah.
Do we all want to go to this meeting, or you and someone else?
I think given the players involved, it should probably be just us, for what I'm hoping are apparent reasons.
Alright. Then I will saddle up with Jeff and we will head towards his rendezvous.
All right, so Duncan and Jeff are heading to go meet with Mr. Silver. Y'all get to the location and Silver is waiting at a car, a nice baby blue Impala, and he's just kind of leaned up against it smoking a cigarette.
Park somewhat close and let them have their conversation.
Give him a nod and start approaching.
He nods back, throws a cigarette on the ground, snuffs it out with his foot. Jeff, right?
Correct.
Okay. Wanted to make sure we talked in person. So, my glass walker friend that headed off your network issue said that
Well, I appreciate that.
said that the hack job, they're not really sure where it came from. Looks like they were using a VPN, and that VPN was also being bounced off of several networks. What he did do was shut down that port access, transfer that information to, and he pulls out a flash drive, to this, hands it to you. This is your information. But in the future, pulls out a card and hands it to you. Here's how you can get some hardware to build your own physical network servers instead of renting them from humans. If you need help setting it up, the Glasswalker's phone number's on the back.
I appreciate this. I want this to be something that everybody who needs it can access it. I don't want this to be strictly Kindred. I don't want this to be strictly Nosferatu. I want this to be available to all who need it. So this is appreciated.
This way you can control who comes and goes a little bit easier, instead of having it pretty much just out in the open.
Yeah.
But he looks over at Duncan, goes, I don't mind helping you all, but I'm nobody's lapdog. If it's something that gets brought to me and I know I can handle it, I don't have a problem doing it. But I'm not the type to go sniffing around where I'm not wanted. Nor am I one to put myself out there and get myself in trouble. I'm a liaison. All I do is make sure that there's peace kept between everybody. And he looks directly at Duncan very loudly and states, I don't get my hands dirty. Looks back at you, nods, turns to get into his vehicle. Gets in and leaves.
Would there be somewhere open this time of night where I could get a cheap, shitty laptop?
Walmart.
And if we swing by?
Sure. Start heading to Walmart.
Because if I'm going to plug this thing into anything, I'm not having it connected to anything. Not yet. And especially not something that I would risk. So, yeah, cheap, shitty laptop that can browse the files. That's all I need.
You guys get to a podunk Walmart that seems to be basically the center of this little town's shopping district. And y'all definitely turn some heads. Particularly Duncan, who has to kind of lean down to get through the front doors. For those that don't know, Henry's not the only tall one in the group, nor is Sir. Duncan is actually 7'1".
Kind of amusing. It make me the least noticeable one currently. Which, yeah, given my clan, is kind of entertaining.
Of course, you guys have to go all the way through this highly, very well lit Walmart to get to the electronics section. You find a couple of cheap laptops. I think the most expensive one was about $200.
Yeah, shouldn't be an issue.
You have to wait around for a little bit for an actual person to come and assist you to get it out of the case and check you guys out and everything. The whole time, the individual is trying to take a peek underneath your hood to look at your face.
Screw it, I'm just gonna pull the hood down.
They kind of like sit back a little bit, go, damn, dude, who burnt your face?
Car accident a few years back.
Ow. I'm sorry, man.
I learned to live with it. I just try to keep it hidden because, yeah, most people kind of have similar reaction and it gets tiresome.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. No, I was trying to make sure I saw who was purchasing in case, theft happens.
Oh, I figured. That's why I removed the hood. It's like, yeah, I try to keep it covered to avoid people staring, but I understand the security needs. Go for it.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm totally sorry. Sorry for making you feel awkward, and sorry for implying theft. And he just shakes his head and just packages up your stuff as quick as he can.
Seriously, don't worry about it. I've gotten used to things like this over the years.
He tells you to have a nice day and hands you the bag.
And you. And start heading out after paying.
All right. Y'all get back to the car?
Yep. Hood back up once. Yeah. Start get moving.
And then start heading back to the Haven.
Yep.
All right. Do y'all have a conversation on the rest of the way there, or does it stay kind of quiet?
It's probably quiet unless Duncan wants to bring anything up.
No, he's just mulling things over.
Yeah, it's kind of where Jeff is as well.
All right. Y'all pull in. You guys hear the gravel of them pulling back into the Coterie Haven. We'll hop over to Sir. Sir, what are you currently doing?
I'm probably trying to get maybe photocopies or something of information on the Second Inquisition sent to me from HQ.
Okay. You speak to the young lady that you spoke to earlier, who is now sounding extremely tired. She says that she will go in and see if she can get some of that stuff faxed over to you. What little bit that they have on them. And she's like, but sir, after I do this and get this moving, I am going to bed. You will have a different person answer your calls from the rest of the evening.
Understood. Get some rest. You earned it.
Thank you, sir. And she hangs up. About 40 minutes later, you start receiving a plethora of faxes coming through. Different symbols they've used throughout the years with loose information about the different types of organizations that function underneath that umbrella. One of them being the FBI, one of them being the CIA, of course, the Vatican, several networks in Russia, Ukraine, England, and other branches throughout the world.
What net?
I've got a couple of hours left of the night.
First thing I'm going to do is get the laptop probably plugged into an outlet and charging, because generally they don't come with much charge. If it boots up, I'll try plugging in the USB and see what happens.
Okay. You plug in the USB, and a prompt goes across as it boots up what's on it, and it says brought to you by little splash screen and a paw print that is made of glass. And then it opens up to your files in a nice organized alphabetical order, along with a question mark one. Everything looks like it's in order, stuff that you had added to the original network, along with connectivity log, everything like that. And the question mark folder is off on its own.
Well, nothing has tried to attack the computer yet, so screw it. Let's open the question mark file.
You open that file, and there is a couple of picture images and a text file.
Let's take a look at the text file.
Okay. You look at the text file, and it is a log of interactions with your network from Kim, with a note directed to you. And it clearly states, Jeff, if you finally are able to see this, know that I intentionally went and probably died at the last meeting. Don't be upset. I chose this knowing that that was going to be an option. So here's what I know. The Sabbat in the city are more than what you realize. So, to keep you safe, and what seems to be a fairly nice coterie safe. And to be fair, the Camarilla in the city now are actually really nice people. They stick to their word and they do what they're supposed to do. So, one last betrayal isn't going to hurt me, but it will hurt the Sabbat. So, there's two factions of low people. Dan was the head of one of them. A couple of his people are already dead. April and Jose. The rest of them I wasn't able to get the names up because they're not part of my group. But Diego's group, which is the one I was part of, they still have a priest active. I haven't met him personally because, let's face it, I tend to stick to myself. But it's a white dude. Then Calvin is part of them. Him I've met, but I think he's still a mole within the Camarilla, so keep an eye on him. He's not fond of Diego, so you might be able to flip him. And then there's another Arabic gentleman that I haven't met that's also part of our group, our little cell. So just know that there's at least 7 others you haven't uncovered yet. And that's just on the low end of it. There's 2 bishops and 1 prison within the city. The Archbishop and his Templars, they're in Atlanta, along with the Cardinal and his 2 paladins. Be careful. And that was the last of it.
Okay, what was the 2 images?
One of the images is marked as Calvin, and you see a picture, that face. No, that's Chance. Hold on. Calvin. That's Calvin.
Okay.
He's the one that she mentions in the note as being potentially flippable.
And the other?
The other one is of her sticking her tongue out, giving the peace sign.
Okay. I'm gonna call Duncan over and let him read the message.
You suspect by knowing how Kim was, she probably put that in there and the hack was it manifesting itself.
Yeah.
Probably on a time delay.
Have I seen Calvin around?
You have. He is definitely one of the Bruja that kind of come and go.
Alright, so we could probably get in touch with Seneca to find out his whereabouts.
All right, so y'all got about another hour before sleep paralysis basically takes over.
I'm gonna spend a good chunk of that hour just going over the files, seeing if anything else has been obviously added in anywhere else or removed.
No, it looks like the Glasswalker respected your network and kept everything as intact as they possibly could. If anything, they organized the data better.
Yeah. Well, I figured that much. It was more to see if there was anything else adjusted by the hack.
Nope.
Just that.
It looks to be legitimately like the self-manifesting timed trigger event that Kim put in place is what alerted the Glasswalker.
Gotcha. So it was just a coincidence.
I am going to message my group in Ireland that is awaiting a package and let them know that the package should be inbound.
Okay. And you get a simple response, K, and we are safe.
And Henry's gonna grab himself a juice box and ask Emma if she can bring some of her more resilient art supplies to the Coterie Haven next time she's by her place, because I've got a project.
Okay, sure. But I'm
Yeah.
staying the night here, so
Yeah, that's fine. Just when you can. And I'm gonna cuddle up and pass the fuck out.
All right. So is everybody just kind of sitting, stewing in their shit for the evening, for the last hour?
Kinda. I'm probably gonna end up passing out in the chair in
Not my
front of the
chair.
laptop. I don't know, just yeah, whatever stools or general chairs we've got in here, just sat in front of the laptop.
You get nudged by one of the security people. Don't sleep there, dude.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. I'll find somewhere a little more covered.
Yeah. The bunker room that's designated for you guys' sleep area that has the bunks in it. It is the only surefire location that does not have pinholes in the structure that could potentially flash light onto you.
Yeah, to head into there then.
I mean, unless you want to go sleep in the bathroom that y'all held Derek in.
Nah, I'm good.
Rather not wake up with a crispy Jeff.
I mean, he already looks the part.
I would like to, in the last hour, kind of get with security
Okay.
and just kind of let them know that they will be the new guard until further notice for the night, and that I'm going to be adding more security, just because if they could find them driving here, it makes me a little cautious that they might know where we are located.
The head of this particular group agrees. As the day crew shows up, they share that information with them, and also they agree and inform you that they plan on taking multiple different routes, some longer than others from here on out, for the change of guard, to make sure that they do not take the same route twice until further notice.
Beautiful. And before that hour is up, I will go lay down and just kind of keep to myself, pass out early.
Okay. Sun goes up, sun goes down. New night begins, and you all begin to wake up. and y'all hear the clamoring of the human guard. I mean, the human guards moving around and whatnot on their typical morning routine.
I will wake up and get a Capri Sun.
All right, as you step out of the barrack room and out into the main building, you see one of the guards standing there playing with a hacky sack while watching out the doors, just kind of shifting it from foot to foot.
Is this a human guard right now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk up just to behind him, slowly and quietly, so that he doesn't notice me, and just get as close as I can, and then just wait for him to notice me.
You get about a foot away from him, and he comes swinging back with an elbow.
I'm gonna catch it.
Yep, you absolutely do. And at that point, he pivots his entire body at the stop of his elbow to swing with the other hand towards whatever just stopped him.
I'm gonna catch that one too.
Roll for that one. I want
What am I rolling?
It's more of a reflex thing. I want to see a dexterity and brawl. Because you expected the first one simply because you knew you were probably going to scare him.
Ouch.
Oh, he fucking clocks you. And the moment that he clocks you and his face turns to match, he's like, "Oh shit, sir, I'm so sorry." And he immediately drops like his full defense stance and immediately salutes. It's like, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry."
I immediately let him lift him to stand back up and kind of at ease, and I just say, "Good to know you're still sharp as ever."
Yes, sir. Sorry about the hacky sack. I'm just trying to make sure I stay awake.
I kind of give him like a small, like a sly smile, just a curvature of the corner of the lips, and I go, "I understand. It's fully okay."
He turns around, snatches up the hacky sack, puts it in one of the cargo pockets of his pants, and says, I will refocus, sir. Thank you for the reminder. And he turns around and sternly looks out and starts pivoting his head. Yeah, for those that don't know, he rolled 3 1s, a 7, a 5, and a 10. I counted out 2 of the ones with the critical 10, but he still had a critical that ate the other 2 successes, so he couldn't stop it.
Imagine I kind of just knew it was coming, just let it happen. It wasn't something that really hurt or anything. Just, oh, okay, yeah, you did it.
Kind of like play fighting with a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
At least that's the story he's gonna tell everyone.
absolutely.
Like every dad that has ever been hit in the junk by his kids ever. It's like, yeah, I knew he was going for it. It didn't hurt. Honest, it didn't hurt.
After he
It walks
probably
out of the
throws
room,
up.
drops. Yeah.
So you all wake. Who's all actually leaving the barracks and who's all just kind of hanging out in their cot?
I feel like Henry would get up and kind of do a little trots around.
For now, since we don't seem to have a concrete plan, I'd be going through the files on my network looking for anything about the Inquisition. Like any current information about the Second Inquisition.
So,
Oh yeah.
sorry. Your search renders more of vague rumors. Some information comes in from London, who the bulk of the Camarilla and other kindred factions were practically wiped out, and the group that claims that they are the ones who did it are a small subsect of the Inquisition. What are we gonna do, Emma?
Find a comfy chair and draw in my sketchbook.
I'm gonna gather up the paperwork that was sent to me that I have on Second Inquisition and bring it to Jeff. I hand it to him. I say, "This is everything my PMC has gotten over the past few hundred years."
Okay. Do you mind if I add this to the collection of information on the network, or would you prefer to keep it separate?
We have physical copies. You can put it on the network. I trust you.
It was less about losing the information, more about whether or not you wanted it kept to us. Because anything that goes on this network, when I eventually bring it back online, will be accessible by anybody that we allow in.
I guess we'll have to vet who we allow in more, huh?
Potentially. Though, I will let you know that I do want this to be available to all clans, not just Kindred.
Well, I see no problem here. Being
Okay.
that this is a sect of humans hunting anything else.
Understood.
But I've not been totally honest with you either. I am familiar with the Second Inquisition. I know for a fact that they're coming after me specifically.
I won't pry if you don't feel like sharing. Just keep us in the loop for anything that you feel is relevant.
Understood. Well, as it comes up, I'll debrief more.
Understood. And with that, I'll start reading through the information you just handed over and putting it into the network at the same time.
Okay.
Keeping an eye out for anything that might be pertinent to what's happening now, rather than centuries-old stuff, unless it's pertinent.
Everything that he shared with you was various symbols that were used by the Second Inquisition over the span of the last 100 years. Different known subgroups that claim to kind of be under that umbrella or function in the same facet as the Second Inquisition's primary source. A name that you keep seeing pop up in the information is Society of Leopold. You also catch wind of something called First Light, located in the Americas. When you go to walk away from him, sir, when you reach your hand in your pocket, you feel the rosary against your fingers.
I pull it out. I am using each bead, remembering that I had put it there to almost make myself forget of his existence, knowing I couldn't. And I'm going to walk back over to Jeff and just set it on the table in front of him. And I say,
This was also found with the rifle. Maybe it'll be of some use.
and I walk away.
Good. And I'll start examining the rosary, see if there's any iconography outside of, what I'm assuming is a small crucifix.
Yeah. It is a all silver, oddly enough, rosary. Each bead is a silver bead. The links between them is silver. The cross itself is silver.
Yeah, I'll see if there's any, engravings or anything on any of the beads. Anything that might link up to some of the symbols that, I've just found out exist from Sir's information. See if I can start cross-referencing things.
No, but there is an engraving on the back of the cross. Very, very small. You would almost need a magnifying glass to see it.
Am I able to make out what it is?
Not without a way to magnify it.
Well, pull out my phone. Open up the camera and zoom in.
Okay. In a very, very small engraving, you see upper portion, it says, "To my," and then across says, "Loving husband." And then on the bottom section, it says a name. Richard Blackburn.
So we have a start. I'll toss the name out amongst the group, see if anybody recognizes it.
Does the name ring any bells?
No?
I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of this person?
I am not allowed to say.
Shh. Just your face.
Is it something we should roll for?
No. None of you have heard of this person before. You would give yourself a headache just trying to think about it.
Okay. Well, I suppose Google time. See if the name comes up in any publicly accessible records.
Putting up Atlantic Records in Nashville.
Henry,
That's
your
all I've
phone
got.
rings.
Hello?
It's Amber. Hey, are you gonna make it tonight?
Oh, shit. Give me a second. I'm gonna put my hand over the mouthpiece. Like, do you guys need me, or can I run out and go do something for a little bit?
I just imagine Henry putting it actually over the earpiece instead of the mouthpiece.
Oh, probably.
Because voice must go in the way it comes out, right?
Yep. At the same time, with the size of Henry's hand, would it not just cover the whole fucking thing anyway?
Pretty much.
It doesn't matter which one he's trying to cover, he's going to cover the whole thing.
Is anyone going to answer him?
I don't see there being an issue with it.
I don't see an issue either, but you
Do you need
probably
a
shouldn't
lift?
go alone.
Yeah, sure. I can take a lift. Uncover the phone. Where am I going? What's happening?
Yeah, can you meet me at the little Irish pub across the way from the campus? The place we went to the first night we met.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna look over at whoever's driving me with like big puppy dog eyes. Like, can you please?
I got you.
Yo. Sure. Yeah. I can be there. Give me however long it takes to get there from where I'm at.
Okay. So I will be heading over there in about 30 minutes. So I guess I'll just wait until you get there to order.
Sure. I mean, you can go ahead and order. That's fine.
Okay. And see you in a bit. And she hangs up.
Yeah. Bye.
Henry is leaving. It kind of jogs something in Emma's memory, and she looks at her phone in her email to see what time the thing was starting that she was supposed to go to.
That class is not until tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Whew. We're good.
All right. So, Dark, are you going to share that information that you found on the back, other than just asking if anyone recognizes the name?
Yeah, I mean, I would have kind of mentioned where it came from if anybody asked, but it's one of those, until we have an actual direction to go with it, there's not really much point in outside of saying this is where I got the name from.
Out of game, did the information about Calvin get made public? Like, did we all learn about that as well?
It got shared to Duncan, but
Okay.
I didn't get much of a chance to mention it to anybody else.
You can do that now.
I can do. Yeah. Bring it up with everybody else that we have names of other Sabat members.
I'm gonna go ahead and get on the horn with Seneca.
Seneca picks up. Hey, sir, what's up, man? What can I do for you?
Lots been up, Seneca.
Oh, boy.
You know me, always in the thick of it.
Trouble finds you, dude.
I kind of find trouble too. But listen, we got some names on some more Sabat members. One of them's ours.
Really?
Do you know anyone named Calvin?
Yeah. He's a good dude.
Not according to the document I have. It seems he's had some dealings with Sabat, but we have some information that he might be flippable.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where he is right now, but I will definitely get some eyes and ears on him if you want me to.
If you would, please. Try not to spook him too much.
Yeah, no. I will get my more subtle clan members to watch him.
They're subtle brouhaha.
I mean, there's some. You know, some of us, we like to fight first and then talk. Some of us like to talk first, then fight. So I'll get the talk first ones on him. How's that sound?
Sounds fair.
Okay.
But, just a heads up, Seneca. Be careful. One of my teams is missing, as well as the major.
Hang on. Who from your coterie is missing?
0.
And Senga goes, oh shit, you're human. Okay. All right. He's about as badass as you, so yeah, okay.
Seneca, we're looking at SI here.
For real? I thought that was a myth.
I can confirm firsthand it's not.
Shit. All
Just
right.
Look out for yourself.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I'll share this information with Fox and get it out there amongst the clan to keep our heads down for a little bit.
Let me know anything when you find out.
Absolutely, man. I'll give you a shout. Later. He hangs up the phone.
It occurs to me, given who we're dealing with, I know we don't have any way to directly get in contact with the prince, but we may want to try and find some way of letting him know what's going on.
I already sent Liz a message saying that the Second Inquisition is involved. I don't expect her to get back to us anytime soon, but if it's important enough to them, they'll contact us soon.
Yeah.
And like the devil heard, you get a ping on your phone.
I hold the phone up with the screen facing him, and I'm like, just nod my head like, see? And I answer it. I put it
Hey.
on speaker.
Hey guys, like, what's up? See, we've got some unwanted guests in town.
Agreed. They hacked Jeff and I's databases, and members of my team are missing, as well as my second in command.
Oh, shit. Okay, they're being a little bit bolder than usual. What did you do to piss them off so bad?
Probably just existed.
But what did you do that for? She kind of chuckles. All right, so we're gonna be wrapping up what we're doing here. And you hear a muffled cry in the background. And we'll head home. Should be back tomorrow. Is that okay? Are you guys okay, or do we need to leave early?
No, take your time. It sounds like you're having fun.
I am. They're not.
Like I said, fun.
You said it was on speaker, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was more just give you guys a heads up that they're involved, so you can expect them.
Oh, yes. So, some of y'all are fairly young. Just know that this is a very bold move on their part. They usually don't let themselves be known that readily. So, I don't know whose Cheerios you guys managed to piss into the point where they're willing to be this bold, but if they're being this bold, we need to expect a much bigger, grander maneuver from them.
Well, considering they were... Did we know at this point who they were trying to shoot at?
Y'all all still suspect it was shooting. The shooting was towards Victor.
Okay.
Well, considering they tried to assassinate the prince, who knows what's next.
Yeah,
This is way too brazen.
we kind of chalked that more up to like a zealot, because there are zealots among the hunters, and the SI. So if it was just a single zealot, like hunter, that's easy to deal with. But if it's SI, then we need to brace for impact if they're making themselves that known.
Speaking of, I have a question for you while I've got you.
You hear a very loud scream and a very crunchy, wet sound in the background. Sure, go ahead.
Does the name Richard Blackburn ring any bells to you?
No, can't say it does.
We found his name on a rosary with the gun. We're gonna look into it.
Be careful. Rosary
You guys
usually
too.
means an SI.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, well, happy hunting. And you hear more squidgy sounds in the background.
Squelching.
She hangs up.
Okay, so we need to start looking into Blackburn. Because that is, as far as I'm aware, pretty much our only lead right now.
Still have another lead, and I didn't think about it until right now.
As I say that, I've walked up to our kind of like board, and I kind of turn to Emma. I say,
Emma, when's the last time you talked to Haruto?
It was the night of the shooting.
Has he said much about that shipment of guns that we tried to salvage?
No?
It might be worth conversing with him about it to some extent, because we know that those guns were slated to go to the prince, and what was left over was supposed to be distributed among the Bruja. But it was never recovered. Nothing may come of it, but it might be another lead down the rabbit hole of Sabat. Because at this point, there's no doubt that Sabat have their hands on it.
Right. So just see if he knows anything else about it?
Yes, he was the one that was delivering it to Victor. If there's anybody that would know anything about it, it would be him. Somebody knew about that shipment. Somebody had to be close enough to him.
Okay. I will ask him. And then Emma pulls out her phone and will text him. And ask, if there's any news on his end about that weapon shipment.
You have never gotten his phone number.
What?
You two were
Much to his chagrin.
much to his dismay and unhappiness. You have never asked him for his number.
Beans, I need a car ride.
There is another vehicle here, correct?
It depends on if Duncan took his GTO or if he took the thing, but he's shaking his head yes. So he took the GTO with Henry. You guys do have the current armored vehicle from staffing that is available, unless you want to take the rigged bike.
No, we'll take the armored vehicle for sure.
Okay.
Especially since I don't know how to drive a bike, so it's really gonna be rigged.
I'll ride you down there. Jeff, would you rather stay here or come with us?
She a surfboard?
Yes.
Hang 10.
I'll come along. It was my idea to use the buddy system, and there were only 5 of us.
Odd man
Fair.
out.
So Jeff is driving, Emma is strapped to the top of the car, and Sir is standing on top of her, riding her like a skateboard. Is that what I'm understanding?
Absolutely.
Oh my
Yes.
god, no, please don't.
Car surfing, Emma surfing.
Fine, we all sit like respectable people.
Low profile. What part of low profile are y'all having trouble with?
Hands on 9 and 3,
Oh,
sitting
man.
straight.
I think the low part.
Only for you.
Aww. Okay, so jumping to Henry and Duncan's little excursion. All right, you guys pull up at the Irish pub park. Y'all get out. Door person just makes sure that you're of age to get alcohol, marks you accordingly. There's a live, like, folk music band playing music. And Amber spots you, Henry, before you spot her. And she just starts kind of waving from a booth.
Awkwardly wave my entire way to said booth.
Duncan, are you joining them or are you going to the bar?
No, Duncan's gonna do the cliche of finding a dark corner to sit in.
Oh, okay. You definitely get approached by a waitress while you're being cliche shadow stalker. Are you gonna wave them away? Or are you gonna order something?
Do they say anything, or do they just approach? They just walk up and stare me down. I stare them down back.
I mean, they walk up and ask you for your order.
Just double shot and then shoo them away.
Double shot of what?
Jameson.
Henry, as you sit down, she hands you a menu.
Kind of give the menu a look. Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need anything.
She's like, oh, okay. She kind of looks it over for a minute and sits it down on the table and looks at you and goes, "So, have you eaten already?"
I had a big lunch.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Waitress comes over and takes her order. She is definitely eating like she has never eaten in her whole life. She orders a full steak meal, broccoli on the side, full salad, and a side order of cheesy covered fries.
Respectable.
And hands the waitress the menu and requests a refill on her sweet tea. So she looks at you and she's like, "So, how you been? What you been up to?"
I've been good, just busy doing, work stuff.
Oh, what kind of work do you do? I never thought to ask you that.
Kind of a little bit investigation, a little bit manual labor, mostly manual labor though.
Oh, like construction, masonry, carpentry.
I think I'm used more for destruction than construction, but that's not always intentional.
Well, that I can understand. I'm a bit clumsy myself. And she holds up her arm, and you see like a pretty sizable bruise on her forearm.
Damn.
Me and Stairs, we don't get along.
Yeah, I've had a few fights with Stairs. They tend to win more often than not. It's the unfortunate reality, though.
Agreed. And she, like, class has been kind of crazy. Med school has been interesting so far. Definitely taking after the family's history.
Good.
Though I am taking it further than any of us have done before, so...
Nice. What are the plans after graduation? You looking anywhere in particular?
Well, I mean, considering it's going to take me about 12 years to get my doctorate, I'll be here a while.
I mean, that's fair, but it's always nice to know what you want to do when you're done,
I want to do pediatrics, actually.
Good answer.
Particularly in the assessment and treatment of autism.
Noble.
But yeah, like, our family's got a long history of, medical care and stuff, so figured I would take a little bit further and actually become a doctor like the rest of my family.
Good. I like people who help people.
So the seminar was boring. I wasted so much time with that.
Oh, I can believe it. Usually when people start talking a lot to me with things I don't understand, I just kind of zone out, so...
I mean, I understood it, but there seems to be a lot of, like, religious undertones to it. And she's like, "Oh, I've got a pamphlet." And she leans over and starts digging through her backpack, and she pulls out a pamphlet and lays it in front of you. Yeah, this group called the First Light.
Mm-hmm. Do you have more of those, or would you be okay if I kept this?
Oh yeah, you can have it. I don't intend to go back. It's some speakers came talking about how they're recruiting, bright and young people who are willing to, put in the work for the CIA and stuff like that. And they're just basically recruiting foot soldiers. I was curious about it in case they had like a medical thing. Because, I mean, a medical person for the CIA and whatnot would be a pretty sweet job. But I think it veers far away from my desire to help children. So I don't think I'll be interested.
Yeah, I would avoid that if I were you. It doesn't sound like it'd be a good fit.
Little disappointing, because government work pays better, but, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these assholes are willing to pay people's scholarships. Waitress comes back, fills up her tea, brings out her cheese-covered fries. And she's like, "You sure you don't want any?" And she kind of offers the plate to you.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I'm full. If I have another bite, I'll have some problems.
That's fair. So, after the waitress walks away, what are you? I mean, medically speaking, what are you?
I'm Henry.
I get that, but I've been watching your neck since we've been talking, and I don't see a pulse.
Nah, it's there. I'm just too thick for you to see it.
Her arm shoots out and touches your neck. And she just sits there for a second. No, that's a lie. There's nothing there. Retracts her arm.
It's there, trust me.
Are you not allowed to talk about what you are?
Something like that.
I see. So, I got some pictures for you. She rifles through her backpack again, pulls out an old family album book, flips a couple pages, and she points at one photo and turns it around and goes, "Right there. That's you." And it is an old black and white photo of one of her ancestors, and you are very distinctly in the background.
Can Duncan hear this?
No. There's too much going on for you to hear it. She taps the picture a couple of times. That's how I knew who you were. I mentioned this before, that I'd seen you, not just following me, but through our photo albums. It's kind of crazy. I've always been curious.
Yep. Kind of crazy. And Henry's going to look very, very, very flustered.
And then she flips a couple more pages to more modern photos, somewheres in the 50s, 60s era, and she points out again that you're in the background. So, you're immortal of some flavor, which is fine. And obviously, I'm not scared of you. And she closes the book and puts it back into her backpack.
Yeah, let's keep the existence of those pictures under wraps, because I could cause some real serious problems for me if people knew that you knew.
Don't worry, I don't tell anybody about you, and the only people who talk about you is my family. Some of us think that you're a myth, others think that you're a guardian angel, some have even thought you were a demon at one point.
We're gonna keep it a mystery. That's what we're gonna do.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Maybe you can answer this one for me. As she finishes chewing her food, she's down to like a couple of scraps of cheese and a few burnt french fries on the plate. When did you start following my family?
A long time ago.
Can you be any more vague? Like,
I mean, I could.
why did you start following us? Can you answer that?
Someone in your family a very, very, very long time ago was nice to some people that I cared about. And some things happened in my life that changed some stuff, and I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of decided, that I'd be a protector.
Okay. So the family member you started following, the first one, the one that helped you, what was their job?
I mean, they may have been in the medical field.
So it's gone a long time. I mean, my family being in the medical field.
Yep.
Were they a nurse? A doctor?
Definitely nursing.
Cool. Was it a girl?
I don't like that you're prying for information.
Well, I'm curious about my family, and you know more about them, like, real time than I ever will. But I'll back off.
I appreciate it.
So? You got questions for me?
I might have before the barrage, but now I'm honestly kind of flustered.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. You're not trying to do harm or anything, so.
It kind of comes with the whole doctor, nurse type mentality. It's always why. Why does this work this way? How does it get to this point? What did this? It's a why thing.
I mean, that's fair. And I guess having a big lug like me following your family around for a long time isn't really drying up the well of questions, huh?
Goodness, no. It's kind of fun, though. Like, it's so cool. I mean, I can't tell anybody about it because they'll think I'm fucking psycho, and I'll definitely not be able to, become a doctor. They'll think I'm a quack. But like, oh, what a cool family mystery to have. She just kind of sits back in her seat as the waitress brings the steak and the sides out. She nods to her. Waitress nods, walks away. She cuts into the steak, and it's bloody enough. But she's like, okay, well, I'm going to focus on eating until you ask me a question. And I won't stare at you either. That way you don't feel awkward. And she just looks down at her plate and starts cutting up the meat and carrying on eating.
You know, actually, you seen any more of that Adam guy from the play?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, so I went on a tour of Meharry Hospital. Apparently he's an EMT there. I ran into him outside.
And?
Just a nice hello, goodbye. Like, no conversation. He was busy loading a patient for transfer.
Okay.
He was talking to somebody else when I first saw him, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some police officer. Apparently they knew each other. When I walked up, they introduced me. I think his name was, they called him Rich. So I assume his actual name is Richard.
Okay. Very interesting.
Why? Are you jealous? And she just gets a really sly smile on her face and winks at you.
Not jealous. I'm just kind of more concerned, we'll say that.
That's fair. I mean, you've been protecting my family for this long. Why would you not be protective of me?
Exactly.
And here I was hoping I would have some kind of weird little Twilight love. There goes my teen years down the drain. I'm just kidding.
You what now?
Nothing. I promise you that entire book series needs to burn in a fire.
Henry's just confused. He definitely does not read much.
She continues eating her steak, waiting for the next question.
I don't think Henry's got any more questions.
Okay. So she wraps up eating, wipes her mouth, puts the napkin on the table, and puts the fork and knife on the plate. Well, Mr. Henry, thank you so much for joining me for dinner, but I do need to get back to the dorms and get a little bit of studying in before bed.
Yeah, absolutely. Just know if anything ever happens, you think you're in danger, even if you think something weird is going on, you let me know as soon as possible.
See, that right there, that assurance is something that apparently can't die. It's got my back. Absolutely. I won't hesitate to call you, even if it's over something stupid like a rat in my apartment.
Awesome.
She just gives a nice big cheesy grin at you as she slides out of the booth and grabs her backpack and throws it over her shoulder. You have a good night, Henry, and get home safe, okay?
You too. Be safe.
And she heads out, stopping by the waitress stand to pay her bill before she leaves. Duncan, you see this, and now Henry is sitting at the booth by himself.
I'll get up and head over there.
You take your undrank drink with you?
No, I leave it on the table.
As he gets to the table, I'm gonna just, hello there, dark and brooding. You ready to head back?
If we're all done here, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. Yeah, start heading back. Jumping back to the trifecta of shenanigans and whatnot. Y'all get to Emma's apartment building.
I will jump out and head upstairs.
As the elevator doors open, you see a very familiar figure standing in the elevator trying to leave it, but you are standing right at the door, eagerly waiting for the doors to open like a little kid.
How familiar is this figure?
It's Hiroshio.
Okay. Oh, hello. Just who I was looking for.
Hi, Miss Emma. You were looking for me?
Yes. There's several things. One, we never exchanged phone numbers, so I don't have a way to get in contact with you.
At that, he just kind of looks down and kind of looks to the side and kind of starts like patting himself down for his phone. Oh, here it is. And he pulls it out, like, here?
Thank you. And I grab the phone and enter my phone number. And then text myself from his phone to get his number.
And he just kind of looks at and he just kind of smiles as he's holding his phone. And then he kind of like does a little shake, like, yeah. And he puts his phone away. And what else were you needing?
Oh, this. It's not really a conversation to be had in an elevator, but I understand if you're busy and you need to go somewhere, we can set up a time to talk.
I was just gonna go meet with a couple of the clan members. They had some things they wanted to discuss with me, but I mean, you're part of our clan, so I absolutely can make some time for you.
It shouldn't be long, just real fast.
Okay. Do you want to come upstairs to my apartment or?
Sure.
Okay. And he kind of steps back in and holds the doors back to let you in, and then hits the button for his floor. And the elevator doors open, and he waves you past him. And
I will get out.
he steps past you, unlocks the door, opens it, and waves you in again.
Thank you.
And shuts the door behind him. But please have a seat.
Sure. So remember that weapon shipment?
Yes.
When I first got into town. Has there been any more information on what happened to it?
So that is one of the things I was going to go discuss with a couple of the clan members. So we are under the impression that Diego was the mastermind behind that theft. It would make sense considering he's one of my clan members and he was aware that I was sending stuff back stateside from my journey.
Yes. Yeah. Emma's gonna pull out her phone and text Sir just very quickly, Diego ? And then put her phone back in her pocket.
Yeah, I was going to be meeting with Annabella, which is a fellow Italian toreador that was loosely close to Diego. They're from the same region. She suspects it's probably Diego that did it.
I see. Would you mind if I followed along?
Oh, not at all. Una and Leon and a couple of others should be there, so you should hopefully feel comfortable.
All right. There are gonna be some of my friends following, but they won't be in the conversation. They'll just, be there since we're currently traveling together.
Well, I mean, the prince said to make sure to help you all as much as possible with the Sabat investigation, so by all means, they're welcome to join in.
That is very kind of you.
Well, then we should be on our way.
Let's go.
He offers to help you up off of the floor because his seats are very traditional.
And I am going to not realize that he's holding out a hand and just jump up.
And he just kind of smirks and walks to the door and opens it and again ushers you through first, and then same with the elevator, and then hits the bottom floor button, and then awkwardly stands beside you, kind of looking off to the side.
While he's doing that, I will once again pull up my phone and text Sir and Jeff. Possible meeting, you're invited, send.
Do y'all choose to respond back to her?
I respond back with, where?
I will respond with, ah.
About that time, the elevator doors open up.
How do you spell that exactly?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Wait, hold on, I'll spell it in chat.
Y'all exit out the front of the building, and he starts walking towards his little Kia Sportage. Are you going to ride with me, Miss Emma, or are you, I'm assuming, riding with your friends that brought you here?
I'm gonna ride with my friends if that is okay.
He looks a little disappointed and goes, yes, Miss Emma, whatever you are comfortable with. Just
Thanks.
let the driver know that I drive like an old man, as I have been told, so he should have no problems following me.
Will do. Thanks a bunch. And then I'll run off to the other car. And then once I get in the car, who's driving?
I assume I would.
Okay. Follow the old man, as he said to call him? No, that can't be right. He drives like an old man. That was it.
I was going to say I resemble that remark.
Emma's just gonna chuckle.
You see a little blacked out Kia Sportage pull out of a parking spot and kind of flicker its lights and then pull out of the parking lot slowly and hesitantly.
There gets a tad bit impatient and maybe rides a little too close. Like not full on tailgating, but like any closer he would be. And then he's like, oh, she wasn't joking. And then I kind of back off a little bit.
After about 20 minutes pass, you all pull up to the wine tasting restaurant that you had previously been in when y'all first ran across Dan. Emma, you recognize this place, and so does Jeff.
I know where we are. Remember, Jeff?
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's the place with the drinks that we can drink.
Mm-hmm.
The
Sorry.
Kia Sportage pulls into a parking spot, and out gets a young Japanese man who kind of like waves at you all.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of the car and walk towards him.
Yep. I'll get out as well and follow along.
Same.
He nods at the two of you. I have met you before, Jeff, correct?
Correct, yes.
And he looks up at you there and goes, I don't think I've ever formally met you. I am Haruto Shigi, and you are?
I hold out my hand, but I'm standing in a very stiff manner as if I'm in at attention. And I shake his hand and say, I am Sir. That's what they call me anyway.
Kind of makes a face and shakes your hand and does a very respectful but like short bow. It's nice to meet you. This way, please. Una and Abala and Leon and Arlo and Yasmin are waiting. And he
Follow along.
escorts you guys through the wine selection location to a set of stairs that goes downstairs through like a distillery area where kegs are sitting to ferment and whatnot, and then through a reinforced door that has a camera system and a lock system on it. And inside is a very, very well decorated, very cozy and low light, just very greeting of luxury, like living space. And Emma, of course, you hear in a very high-pitched tone, Emma, I'm so happy. I didn't expect you. Haruto, why didn't you tell me we were gonna have guests? Scolding her Primogen.
Hi.
So the viewers can see, this is Una. And this is Leon, who is standing off to the side from her. Sitting on one of the couches is Abala. And Arlo is sitting next to her. And then Yasmin is sitting in one of the chairs. Everybody kind of like says hello, and Una introduces everybody to you, Emma, and Sir and Jeff. And Una goes, I've met you, Jeff, but who are you? And points at Sir. You're Sir, right? you help out the prince with tasks, correct?
Correct.
It's nice to meet you. So I take it that you were all here about the little mishap with the shipment that we suspect Diego was part of.
That is correct.
I see. Please, grab a drink, have a seat.
Thank you, thank you.
Everybody grab a drink and sit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grabbed a drink, plopped down.
I'm notably not actually drinking my drink. I took it to be polite.
Sir?
I am actually drinking my drink.
Oh, okay. All right. Haruto speaks up, stands. Thank you all for calling this meeting so we can kind of pin down the events that might have led to this little issue. And in accordance with the wishes of the prince, we are involving Sir and Jeff and Emma in this discussion so that they can better weasel out the Sabbat in our mess. So, out of the Toreador in the city, you all, including Diego and Dominique, Oliver, and Anton, were aware that I was going out of town and going to pick up supplies and whatnot for the prince. The only person that approached me about the specifics of what I was picking up was Diego and Oliver. Now, with the information that was given to us from the prince and from the events that occurred at the Elysium, I am under the impression that Diego is our culprit that gave away that information to the Sabbat. Does anyone else have any speculations on Oliver? And for the first time, pretty much ever, Emma, you hear Leon speak up. I do not think it was Oliver. I've been with Oliver off and on for a while now, and he's young, yes, but he's very dedicated to his art and spends more time on his art than he does in social events, which for Toreador, I'm aware that seems a little bizarre, but he is a sculptor like Diego, but he sticks to stone. He doesn't venture far away from that either. Granted, some of his artwork does go into more the macabre because he gets hired by certain funeral homes to do special statues, but I don't think there's a bad bone in that boy's body. And Una just kind of sits and nods. So, Abala speaks up. Why do we suspect Oliver at all? Aratiro speaks up. I only suspect him because he was also one that asked about the details. Which of us are sculptors? Leon speaks up. That's me. Okay, well, why would Oliver be curious about what we were bringing back from Iceland? Leon's, well, there's a couple of stones that are from that region that he's never worked with before. I'm assuming he was hoping you would bring some of that back with you. Arthur was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Does he still want those stones? And Leon's like, oh, well, I can ask him. I should be going to his studio in a couple of days. Do that. I do plan another trip back up there, and if he wants us to quarry some of that out for him, we'll make sure to get that done. Any other Toreador news or other topics for the clan that need to be addressed or potentially brought to the prince? And no one really says anything of significance. It's usually like little things here and there of, hey, you know, this supply chain got cut off. How can we reestablish it? Things of that nature. And Arturo kind of nods and goes, okay, let me write this down. Goes and fetches paper and starts writing stuff down. And then looks at Sir and Jeff and Emma. Do you all have any questions for those present?
I do not have a question. However, I would like to present an idea.
Okay.
It seems that this Diego is our most likely culprit. However, I believe it would be prevalent to everyone involved if we had a mock shipment. We could rule out further from these four which one it could be. We tell every one of them something different that's coming in the shipment.
That is not a bad idea. Okay. We will arrange all 4 of us, myself, Ambala, Una, and Leon. We'll arrange for different excursions out for various things, and we'll share that information with those individuals, but say something different for each of us. Does that work?
Sounds good to me.
Well, each one of us will share that information with an individual. Whichever one gets assaulted, then we know. Problem is we can't find Diego. So it'll have to be those that are left.
We'll keep an eye out for him as well. And I pull a business card out of my pocket with my phone number on it, and I hand it to Haruto. And I say, if any of you have any questions for me, or need to inform me of anything, do not hesitate to call.
We'll coordinate it with you. Pass it through you first before we set anything in stone, if that would be okay.
Perfect.
He nods and puts your card into his pocket. I think at this point we're just gonna leisurely hang out as just fellow clan members, so if you guys would like to say, you're welcome to. If not, you're also welcome to leave.
I think we would love to stay, but I'm afraid some companions of ours might be waiting on some info.
He nods.
My thoughts exactly.
And Haruto walks up to Emma and goes, it was very nice to see you again.
It was nice to see you as well.
He just kind of smiles meekly. Would I be able to trouble you for a date sometime?
Like October date? I'm confused.
No. Like just us two. Like going to see a movie or something.
Oh. Sure, friend.
Ooh.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. And he smiles and turns around and goes back to sit down.
Emma's gonna leave.
Would Jeff have witnessed that?
Oh, yes. That was not hidden at all.
Yep. I'm going to make a composure check to see whether or not I cringed when I heard the hello friend.
And
the okay friend.
Go for it.
Because that's... Oof. Just be composure.
Performance and composure.
Okay. Because, yeah, that's just...
I need to make
no.
real life
Nope.
one of those.
Nope.
Yeah, that was just a... Ooh. And probably sounded exactly like that, too.
That was an oof. Oofta.
Don't worry.
Yep.
Emma's completely oblivious.
Skipping forward in time, both groups reconvene at the Coterie Haven. What kind of razzing, otherwise shenanigans is occurring?
I guess we're gonna have a rundown of what everyone has done and found out.
Now this is important.
So, Henry, how did your date go?
I mean, it wasn't really a date, but it went okay. I did get some stuff that I need to look into, or have one of you computer people look into for me.
What do you need?
I'm gonna pull out the pamphlet, and this was being handed out at the school, and I find it kind of odd that this group popped up right when we're finding out about the Second Inquisition being hanging around and stuff. So I know a person I was with mentioned that they were looking for like foot soldiers and grunts and stuff, claiming that they were working with the CIA or something.
That would
Yeah.
explain maybe the hacking.
I mean, it could be nothing, but you know.
Henry, you missed out on a decent bit. The Second Inquisition is, as I've told Jeff, is probably attacking me personally, and I apologize for dragging you into it and getting you shot.
That's fine. I'm gonna deal with who shot me. Speaking of that, Emma, did you happen to swing by your place and get those art supplies for me, or am I still waiting on that?
Ah, beans, I forgot about the art supplies. I have some pencils, some paper.
Yeah, no, I really need like paints.
Paints.
Yeah, I need paints.
An art store might be somewhere where you might want to go.
They require money.
You could always pull a Derek. And I point over to the blood bag fridge.
Nah, I need this to stay. I'll figure something out. Thank you, though.
Can I ask what you are planning on making?
Don't worry about it. I'll show you when it's done.
Oh, I'm worried. I'm
No.
worried.
Don't worry. It's okay. Henry's just got a sly smirk across his face.
You should worry.
Emma, under her breath, is now going to just say, I'm glad I didn't bring any paints.
Still sitting on the table.
Probably, yeah, next to the laptop.
Okay, Duncan is sitting far away from the rosary.
Sits down, notices it, shifts the seat away.
Well, we've got a couple of leads, and this rosary was left with the gun. Yeah, it seems that Jeff found the name Richard Blackburn on it, so that's one thing to go off of, but we also met up with Haruto and devised a plan that we're going to fake a shipment and spread different information to different Toreador that are close to him and decide from there who is leaking information to the Sabbat.
One of the prime targets that we're thinking at the moment is Diego. He was very interested in knowing what the gun shipment was going to be.
Of course, Diego is fallen off the radar at the moment, but if he somehow finds out we've got bigger problems, that means there are more planted within the Toreador than we first imagined.
Is there any way to see or check to see if the gun that was used in the shooting was in the shipment that was stolen?
Considering they made sure that any of the guns that were brought for the Bruja were off the record guns, no.
Being that the case, because I'd imagine a shipment of guns would have their serial number scratched out or not stamped.
Filed.
Yeah. Is this gun, does it have a serial number?
It absolutely does.
So we can deem that this is not part of that shipment.
Correct.
Also, Henry, I don't know how you stumbled across this first light pamphlet, but the Second Inquisition was known to go by that name.
Well, that's not good.
No. We also put out basically an APB on Calvin through Seneca. I say we see what we can find out about this Richard Blackburn.
Yes. Oh, there's also a possible thought that an Oliver might also possibly have something to do with the weapons being taken, that shipment, since he was curious as to what the shipment was and was told about it. Although there seems to be a consensus that it is unlikely to be him, but just something to keep in mind.
Well, if it's Oliver Wrench, I don't think he would be the one that would have stolen the shipment because it was for them.
But did he know that it was for the Bruja? Because I was unaware until we were made to go secure it. And from what information you guys have put on the board, it seems he was working with Derek. He might not have known what the shipment was and had taken it.
I think we're talking about different Olivers.
You said Ollie
Absolutely.
Wrench?
Absolutely talking about different Olivers.
Could be.
I'm talking about the sculpture.
There is an Oliver Hollington that is a Toreador in the city, and then there is an Ollie Wrench that is a Bruja in the city.
All right. So, what's our next plan? What avenue are we going to chase down?
Like I said, I've got Seneca looking for the Bruja Calvin. We can search for whoever this Richard Blackburn is, or we can look more into the First Light and the pamphlets and their recruiting.
And I'm assuming we do not want to split up again.
It would be unwise.
Dig more into First Light?
Yeah, looking into the First Light seems to be where we should probably go from here.
Google food, man.
You think if we head in this direction, we need to be very careful as to not show our hand. They know who I am.
Yeah.
So is Jeff doing more Googling?
Yep. Start looking into, any websites for this. Yeah, taking a look at the pamphlet, seeing if they've got any information online about who they are and what they do.
Okay.
Seeing if it's, 'cause it is entirely possible it's just a coincidence, and is it just another random religious group? Probably not. But it could
So
be.
Henry gets this weird voice in his head and like repeating over and over, Richard, law enforcement, Richard, and then it just gets more and more urgent.
Wow, it's like my brain's on. Jeff, I had a couple names that I wanted you to look into, but one of them is kind of burning through my brain at the moment.
Okay.
It's this cop that my friend's attempted friend is apparently close with. Richard. Richard, I think Long Horseman, something like that. I don't know. I just know he's a cop. And while you're at it, there's an EMT at the local hospital. Adam. I don't have a last name, but I don't know. Something about that guy is weird to me.
Okay. I'll start with Richard. He said he's a cop, so
Yeah.
okay, let's do a quick search, see if there's any listings of local police.
You find a couple of like cop appreciation like Facebook pages for different precincts, and there's quite a few Richards listed. Fairly common name.
Kind of figured, but
Wow.
you might get lucky.
A lot of dicks in the local police force, huh?
As you're digging through about the fifth or sixth one, something catches your eye. An Officer Richard Blackburn.
Huh. Henry?
Hmm?
You said you found out about this guy from a friend of yours?
Yeah, but they more said that they were introduced to this person, like in passing, not like they hang out and go to the movies and stuff.
Huh.
Why? What's up?
This may be our guy.
Oh shit! Really?
Hmm.
Well, damn.
The picture, gentleman, looks like that.
We got a face fit for a sledgehammer.
Mm-hmm.
Picture, he's in his dress blues, accepting a award with a female officer to his side. A Detective Tawana that looks like this. What do y'all do with the information? Y'all share it with the group? Keep it to yourselves?
I'll pull up the image larger and call everybody over. So, we may have somebody to look out for. This would be Officer Richard Blackburn. Sir, do you remember The officer that you met at the wreck?
I could point him out in a lineup, yeah?
That's not him, is it?
Is it him?
No.
No, it's not him.
Okay. I'm literally just trying to think what to go next. Yeah, what to do next.
Does it say... What was the detective's name again?
Detective Tawana.
Spell that.
How do you? Yeah.
Twanna. And she looks like that.
Is there any contact information for Detective Tawana?
Not on the photo, but if you do some simple searches for detectives and whatnot, you should be able to find her phone number listed. Most detectives have their desk numbers listed in case people need to get a hold of them and lose their cards.
Who wants to get in touch?
We need... This is a detective we're talking about.
I mean, you could call under the guise of investigating what happened to your vehicle.
I could, but who knows if she would even be overseeing that case, or even have access to that file. Could be a completely different precinct.
Correct. Where your vehicle was located is in the southeast portion of Nashville. It looks like her particular jurisdiction is more in the central part of Davidson County. Her office is located in the main municipal area, so very close to where Jeff lives.
We have a reason they can think of as an excuse to call her and be asking about a co-worker or subordinate.
Not off the top of my head.
Could pretend to be internal affairs.
That's a risky slope.
And it's a risky slope just in the fact that if I know anything about law enforcement, cops really don't like internal affairs rolling around.
Duncan, I want you to roll a perception check while you're staring at that picture.
Okay.
No, Duncan.
Oh.
Duncan very specifically.
Just wits awareness.
Yep.
Where do you know her from, Duncan?
You recognize a tattoo on her forearm in the picture. It is very much a Black Fury's tattoo.
Duncan's not going to disclose any of that information.
Okay. So I want to say very much a thank you to everybody who came to hang out with us. And our next game will be February 1st